How are we? Oh, wrong button. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another deadline stream. It is game week 35. We have just 4 weeks left of the season. I hope you are doing well. Thank you all very much for joining. I hope you're all well. 4 weeks left. Friday deadline. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm not feeling great about my team this week. I don't think it looks fantastic, but it is what it is this week. Pretty set on most of it. Just need to confirm my transfer of buying Brian and Burmo. The plan is to sell Phil Foden. Just, of course, when we might get some early Man City team news, which could affect that. But I'm almost certain that Foden won't start this game. I have a little bit of a dilemma if we do hear that Foden does start. Like, yeah, it doesn't feel... I don't know. What do I do if Foden starts? Like, anyway, we'll get into all of that in a moment. We'll answer some of the questions in the chat in just a moment. Before we do that, let's do the usual round of hellos before we dive in. Please say hello. Let me know what you're having for your Friday night dinner. I'm always interested to know what people... Saturday morning, it's like breakfast and stuff. It's less exciting. But Friday night, people do exciting things on a Friday night. So you tell me what you are doing. And drop a like while you're at it. And subscribe to the channel as well. Hello to Osama. Hello to Blay. Hello to Dubum. Hello to Ospike. Hello to Callum. Hello to Fiona. Hello to Beardy. Hello to Peter. Hello to all the members and moderators in this evening as well. Thank you all very much for your support. Lee and Robbie in as well. Hello to everyone else. Bruno, Joey, Noam, Willem, Gareth, Benjamin, Quan, Tom, Paul, Nick, Connor, FPL Turkey, Jason, Bodo, Roy, Justin, Matt, Ashish, FPL Stinky, OSSR, Philly, P Beach, Ahmed, who else have we got? Matthews, Louay, Nino, Vukek, Chad, Andrew, Vu, Ned, Raj, Sherlock, Richard, Tanvir, Lucas, Brandon, CF, Ben, Harris, Thomas, Loki, Christian, Anjan, and Phil. Hello to you all, and hello to everyone else as well. Thank you very much for watching. You're having pizza and pasta for your dinner tonight. Very nice. You're having Mexican in Amsterdam. Wow. It's Friday, fish and chips. What else? It's like being back at school. A screw. Oh, it's a squirrel. That's from Friday Night Dinner, the program. Sushi. Very nice. Fish and chips, rice and beans. Lamb shoulder. Octopus. Thai. Barbecue. Butter chicken. Fermented lamb head. I'm not going to rank these, but the sun is out in the UK and it is barbecue weather. It is also, I'm aware that it has been a long time since I've had to stream or do content in the heat. And the room where because I live in like flats, but I'm quite low down in the flat. I can't really have the windows open because everyone outside will be able to hear me. So when I do anything, I have to shut all the windows. And this room gets so hot throughout the summer, and I haven't had to do it. I don't remember. It's probably September was the last time we had heat like this. Like, it's probably August, the last time I streamed with the heat that we've got. And anyone who knows me, I'm not a hot weather person. I have a fan, but my issue is I think you can hear it. I've just turned it on, so yeah. I was on the FPL show this morning. Yeah, I see you can hear it. But it's pretty quiet. I'm just going to turn it right down and have it on in low in the background. But yes, you've got 164,000 fans. I appreciate the joke, Simon. Stay cool. But yeah, it is. Anyone who knows me, I'm not a hot weather person. Like, I like the occasional day of hot weather in the summer, but I like a week of it is good. Like, I'm not a 2 months or 3 months of hot weather person. Like, that gets, by the end of it, I'm ready for when it gets to the end of the summer and people talk about, oh, you know, the temperature's starting to drop. I'm like, yes, like, I'm ready for this. Don't get me wrong. If I'm in another country, I'm all up for it. I'm all up for the hot weather. I'm all up for hot weather when I'm on holiday or something like that. But in the UK, I'm not up for it because I'm just trying to live my life, and it's too much. AC in the UK, yeah, we don't really do it. We don't really have AC, and the buildings are built to keep heat in rather than let it out. So, yeah, listen, I don't mind. Take me on holiday. We're all great. Yeah, I'm such a Brit. Yeah, to be fair, I'm feeling. It is a bit of a cliche, but anyway, let's talk about some of the game week, shall we? Before I get 20 minutes into this and then I complain again about how hot I am. I'm sure it won't be the last time. Chasing rank: Saka, Savinho, John Philippe Mateta to Mbeumo, KDB, Watkins. I like the first two moves. I'm not sure that Mateta to Watkins is particularly worth a -4. 2,000 likes is the aim, and subscribe if you are new. That's always at some point I changed it from 1,000 to 2,000, and now occasionally I add in like random numbers just to keep you all on your toes. But Nelso, thank you very much for the super chat. So this is how my team is lining up at the moment. I've got one free transfer. The plan is to do Foden out for Mbeumo. The slight caveat is, of course, Manchester City are the early kickoff. If Foden was to start, I would have to find another way, or I could still sell Foden. Like, I'm not completely against selling Foden regardless, because I still think he's going to be an issue further on. 6k is overall or in a mini league? Overall rank, yeah. Play Rodgers or Sarr. So that is a big one this week, and it's probably one that should go in the benching ranking. I would put Sarr in over Rodgers personally. Yeah, I would go mid. I would actually probably go Eze first, then Mateta, then Sarr, then Rodgers, in that order, I think. Worth keeping Murphy. If you can bench him this week, or if you've got, you know, Saka and you don't want to sell him, I don't mind it. I do think there are some of the upcoming games don't scream loads of goals, but I just think Newcastle looks so good. It just feels like one of those transfers that just isn't necessary to make. Like, I've got Rodgers. I don't know how I feel about Rodgers. Feels like Rodgers for his price should be great, and like we should be really appreciative of him. But like, I don't know what it is in me that I just don't like Rodgers as a pick. He's just not been like, this is fine, but it's not that exciting. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to keep him now probably until the end of the season, and I'll start him in at least 3 of the 4 weeks, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel that excited by it. FPL Lucho, how are we doing? Who knew feeding the kids was more important than the FPL deadline? Priorities. -4 of De Bruyne or Bowen in for Rashford or Roll. I'd probably do it because it doesn't look like Rashford's going to play again this season. So, yeah, listen, De Bruyne and Bowen are both fantastic options. If I had to buy one, I probably would just about go De Bruyne if you have the money for it, but I don't think there's very much in it. And Bowen is better value, I'd say, but yeah, I probably would just about go De Bruyne. Sell Asensio for Bowen for a hit. I'm not sure I would do that. Part of me wants to see the Villa lineup this weekend before deciding on what to do with someone like an Asensio, because I am expecting him to get a nice boost to his minutes now that we have, know Marcus Rashford. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm not sure I would be selling him for a hit. Manchester City team news. So those asking on, is Marmoush starting? Savinho, Foden, De Bruyne, the lot. We don't know yet. We might get some before the deadline. The chances of us getting anything before the deadline, it is pretty slim, is pretty low. To be honest, we haven't really got that much this season, and especially recently. So I'm not sure I'd hold out much hope. I would hold your transfers until we get there in case there is something, but yeah, I'm not expecting very much. In terms of what I'm planning on doing this week, people asking if I'm selling Saka. The plan for me is to bench Saka, hope they go out of the Champions League and have him for the rest of the season, and probably sell Phil Foden for Brian and Burmo and leave Bukayo Saka on the bench. Pep in his press conference said that Haaland is close to return, but basically said he's not going to be he shouldn't be in the squad tonight. Yeah. Captaincy is wide open. I honestly think you need to find a pick that you're pretty happy with. So if you think that Marmoush is a good captain, go for it. If you're confident on Burmo, then go for that as well. Isak, I think, is really underrated. That you can't go wrong with just leaving it on Mo Salah as well. I really, really like the options that you've got for captaincy this week. So let me just do a captaincy poll and let's see what people are saying. So we're going to go Marmoush. We're going to go Salah. We're going to go Burmo. And unfortunately, I can only have 2 options. I'm going to go other. I can only have 4 options. Saka to Burmo for free, or Sarr to Bowen or Mateta. Sarr to Bowen or Mateta to Wissa. I'd probably go Bowen. Yeah. I think Bowen and Mateta is better than Sarr and Wissa in my eyes. Bowen captain. I don't dislike the Bowen captaincy shout. I like a lot of captaincies this week. It feels like if you are able to pick a captain that doesn't blank this week, that will probably be enough. So I don't think you need to be looking for a player who you think's going to haul. I think picking a player who you think's likely to get a return is a better way of looking at it this week. Will Liverpool rotate? Arne Slot has said he will make some changes, but I highly doubt that will be Mo Salah. He's basically said he knows all the records he's very close to breaking, and he wants to break most of them, if not all of them. So Liverpool are expected to rotate. I wouldn't be that confident going between now and the end of the season with someone like a Trent, someone like a Konate, a Diaz, etc. I think they'll probably start Chelsea, but I also think there's a chance that they don't play all the games between now and the end of the season. Whereas I expect Salah to start a minimum of 3, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't 4. Would I do Pedro to Watkins for a hit? Given that Pedro is suspended, I probably would. I mean, I don't know who it benches in your team, Adam, but I probably would, yeah. Why am I not playing Milenkovic as he's in your top 5 defenders? So he's in my top 5 defenders to buy for the rest of the season, particularly because of the fixtures they've got over the next couple of weeks. But in terms of benching ranking, I would have probably Konza just above them based off what I saw on Thursday night. But I wouldn't buy Konza over him because the fixtures between now and the end of the season for Villa are not as good. But like Leicester at home next week for Forest is good. And West Ham away the week after is good. But this week I don't love it. So I like Forest defence between now and the end of the season. But this week, not so much. You bench Sarr. I probably would do that, Adam. You can't go in Burmo, not enough funds. That's the benefit of having someone like Foden in your team, right? Because pretty much everyone is affordable. Pretty much everyone is affordable. I'll just come down to whoever I want, basically. Assistant manager, if you've still got it. I think there's 3 choices in my eyes that I would put assistant manager on. Glasner, if you've got the space for Palace, or you want to free up the Palace spot, like selling Mateta, for example. Pep Guardiola, if you've got a City spot, or you've got a Savinha or a Foden who you plan on selling. If not, it's David Moyes. And I think David Moyes is probably the one that I ended up with a lot of people if you've got triple City and triple Palace. They've got Ipswich at home, then they've got Fulham away, which should be table bonus, and then they've got Southampton at home. It's a pretty decent 3-week run with 2 hopefully home good fixtures and then 1 away fixture in the middle, which will be table bonus. So Pep versus Iraola, I wouldn't be going Iraola away at Arsenal, I don't think. De Bruyne captain, yeah, again, don't dislike De Bruyne captaincy this week. I think he's in my top 5 ranking for the week, so yes, I do like it. Play Murphy or Sarr? I'd play Murphy. No, I'd play Sarr over Murphy, I think. We can add him to the benching ranking. Saka's not predicted to start. It's not guaranteed, but why are people going O'Brien over Mykolenko? Mykolenko's attacking threat is actually not great. He doesn't get his open play, end product is really bad. And O'Brien scored a couple of goals. Why are not many captaining Salah? I just think there's a little bit of people thinking that there's going to be a bit of fatigue in that Liverpool side. I also think there are some other nice new shiny toys that we've got in our teams, like Mbermo, like Marmoush at home to Wolves, that we're potentially looking at. And it does feel like an okay week to go against Salah, given that he's going away to Chelsea. But I don't think he's a bad option if that's where you wanted to end up with the armband. You're considering a -4 of Semenyo to De Bruyne, Murphy to Bowen. I like both of those moves. I think they're both upgrades. Semenyo to De Bruyne probably feels like a bigger upgrade, but there's a big price difference between the two. Saka or Eze? Listen, Saka would be pretty low down my benching ranking for a lot of these benching decisions. If you've got a player you expect to get decent minutes and you expect to start, I would probably play it over Saka. I just think it's a realistic chance that he doesn't start. You've probably got, let's say, 60% chance he doesn't start and he gets 30, and a 40% chance that he starts and gets 70. 40, your average minutes is somewhere about 45, which is not enough to start him. When you've got another player like Asar and Rodgers pretty guaranteed to get 80 plus, if not 90 plus minutes. Someone like Jacob Murphy, I think is a little bit closer because his expected minutes is lower, something around a 65. But I still think I would probably just about go with him over Saka. Peter, would I do Wissa and De Bruyne or Watkins and Bowen? Watkins and Bowen, I think, prefer that combination. I really like Watkins. If you've got a forward spot that you can go to, yeah, I quite like him. I do want to talk a little bit about the fixture between Aston Villa and Spurs. I did flag this yesterday, and I flagged it in my video as well. When the fixture rearrangement for the FA Cup semi-final got announced, and they posted the article with there are set to be no more double or blank game weeks, there was zero mention of the Villa versus Spurs game, which in theory still does not have a confirmed time. Now, we are expecting it to stay on the Sunday at either 2:30 or the 7 o'clock PM slot, which is actually where it's meant to go, 7 o'clock on Sunday. But it hasn't actually been announced. We actually do not know where that fixture is going to go. It is not 100% guaranteed that there will be no doubles. There is probably a 5% chance in my mind that we might still get a double in 36 for Villa and Spurs. It's a very small chance, but it's just something worth noting that fixture hasn't been confirmed. We do not know actually when it's going to be played. The issue is game week 36 midweek is not a very long time away. So if they wanted to put it in there, they probably should have done it already. But it is just something worth noting that it doesn't feel 100% locked in that we have no doubles left. It is, in theory, still possible. And we saw that again this morning when Standard Sport have reported that they are continuing to seek a solution of where to play that match. So, what would I do with Asensio? I'd play Sarr over Asensio, so I'd probably bench him. The Prem confirmed Villa Spurs still in game week 37, but move a couple of days. That hasn't been confirmed. They tweeted a graphic. They tweeted a graphic and had it still at 2:15. I don't think they're fully aware of exactly where that fixture is going to go. It doesn't sound like it's been decided. It doesn't look like we're going to get it before the deadline either. And the longer we go on, it basically feels very unlikely that they would stick it in 36, because to bring it forward is only a week and a half away, basically. So, yeah. No, I'm not on bench boost this week. The plan is to bench boost in game week 37. If that fixture unlikely was to be brought forward to 36, I would then play my free hit in my bench boost in game week 36 instead. But it looks like game week 37, I'll have Areola against double Forest defense, basically. So I just have to hope that both teams don't score in West Ham Forest and that I get something from someone. And the last one's likely to be probably Saar, given that they play the FA Cup final on the Saturday. Areola sells, Konza, Saliba. Which two would I play? Sell Saliba. No City news, no. Didn't Forest just play? Yeah, Forest played last night, which was their game week 34 fixture, and then they play again on Monday, which again is why a lot of us are quite happy. Like, I'm quite happy with Triple Palace this week because I don't think they looked quite as good Forest as they had been previously at home. As someone with double Forest defence, it doesn't bode well that they are really struggling to defend, and there are a lot of individual errors in that team at the moment. Like, I've got them for Leicester at home, West Ham away. If they keep one clean sheet across the 2 games, I will be absolutely taking that. I need one from the 2 games, basically. Bring in Gvardiol or replace Murphy with 1 free transfer. I would say Gvardiol in is probably the better option. I don't mind Murphy between now and the end of the season. Again, those of you asking about assistant manager, the top options for me are Glasner if you've got a spare Palace slot, but you'd have to move it next week. Pep Guardiola, you could pick him for 3 weeks, or you go David Moyes, and again, you can pick him for 3 weeks. So it depends. If you've got transfers spare, then you can go with someone like a Glasner. But if you want to just set and forget on your assistant manager, then it needs to be on probably Pep or David Moyes if you are looking for someone else. David Moyes, Southampton at home. Ipswich at home, Fulham away, Southampton at home with table bonus away at Fulham potentially is probably up there. Thomas Frank, like you could go with, yeah, no real bonus games in there, but you could just go Brentford, Man United at home, Fulham at home, and away Ipswich. You could go Thomas Frank as well. Yeah, that's reasonable. Milenkovic third. Sorry, he should be before Williams. So again, the reason Milenkovic is in my top defenders to buy, but he's not starting for me this week, is I like Milenkovic as a buy between now and the end of the season because of the fixtures against Leicester and West Ham next week. And Palace away is okay, but I think that Gvardiol, Konza and Munoz are probably slightly better this week, particularly because of the Forest turnaround. But I don't love Konza going up against Bournemouth away, United away, Spurs at home. I just prefer the Forest defence over a 4-week period. But this week, I probably would go Konza specifically for this week. But if I was buying one new, I would just go O'Brien. Everton would be the number 1 team I'd look to buy defensively. No transfers. The plan is to do Foden to Mbeumo. I just need to wait because if we somehow knew that Foden was going to start the game tonight, then I probably would have to think of something else, or I'd look to roll the transfer and take on Mbeumo with Phil Foden tonight. I think I will do the transfer probably likely regardless, but I could do Saka to Mbeumo instead, right? And just bench some probably Rodgers if that was the case, and play Phil Foden and Mbeumo. So yeah, like in theory, if Foden was to start tonight and then he's got Southampton next week, I probably would have to take the chance on him, despite it not being great, and I probably would then sell Bukayo Saka. But part of me wants to keep Saka for 37, 38. Iraola, assistant manager, I'm not sure I'd do it personally. Feels like too much of a risk. If that game still finished 1-0 Arsenal, I wouldn't be completely surprised. Would I start Wout Fass over Konza? I wouldn't start a defender from Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich at any game week, no matter who they're playing, so no. Saka and Sarr out for Mbeumo and Bowen for a -4, or Saka for De Bruyne. I quite like the Bowen double move that a lot of people are considering. Yeah, I quite like that. Someone saying Hertzler. Yeah, 36. They've got Wolves away, which is all right. It's not great. Then they do have table bonus, but it's at home to Liverpool. Like 2 home table bonus games is not bad, but I think those games are difficult. Even the away Wolves game, like I feel like table bonus was built, and we've seen it with Glasner. Really, table bonus has been built for those teams who are maybe 15th, 14th, 15th, playing against the teams who are like 7th, 8th, 9th. It's not really meant for targeting teams in the top 4, and I think we've seen that this season, that a lot of the positive success with table bonus on assistant manager has been when you've played it against a team more in the middle of the table. Saliba, Saka, Sarr to O'Brien, Bowen, Bumo. Yeah, like 3 transfers I quite like. Would I do Mateta to Wisa and Cervinho to Mbermo for a hit? If you need to do the Mateta move in order to free up the money, then yes. But I'm not massively certain it's like it's worth the hit. But if you need to free up the money. Rashford to Mbermo, keep Saka, and for budget regions, Rashford to Alanga. I don't understand the question because you're selling Rashford both times. I like Mbermo. He's a top midfielder to buy. He's probably the number 1 player to buy this week. So I have a stand that I put my phone on, and I got a new one this week that charges my phone like it's magnetic, but it charges my phone so slowly. Feels really annoying. Good job. It's a deadline tonight, so I can join my stag do. Yeah, I mean, I was going to stream in the morning. If it was Saturday morning, I probably would have done it, but I'm not sure how it would have worked. I hate missing streams. Anyone who knows me, missing streams is the number 1 bit of content. If I had to miss anything, it would be bottom of the list. But yeah, it did work out well when this got announced. Could Foden play against Southampton 36? He could. If he starts tonight and was to play well, then yes, but I don't think he'll start tonight. So why am I not getting Bowen or Mbermo or captaining them? The plan is to buy Mbermo in place of Phil Foden. How's Rodgers for captain? I just don't love Rodgers as an asset nearly enough to even consider captaining him. I don't love him in my starting lineup most weeks. He feels like the perfect player that I'm happy to have first sub every week, and I hate having him. I really don't like having him in my starting 11, but I also love having him first sub. So yeah, I don't love Rodgers. I wouldn't be captaining him. O'Brien or Konza? Definitely O'Brien. Yeah. Pickford or Raya? Pickford, if you have both, definitely Pickford. I've considered doing a -4 of like Areola to Pickford in order to bench Raya this week, and I do wonder if it pays off, but I just don't think it's worth to take a hit. I did a poll on Twitter, which was, where is it? How many Arsenal defenders, goalkeepers are you starting? And the ownership of Arsenal defence is going to be over 1. I don't really want to take that on with a -4 as well. Doesn't feel like it's the most sensible thing to do when I'm not chasing rank. I do think if you're chasing rank, going against Arsenal defence this week is a reasonable play. I fully expect Bournemouth to score, but I don't think I can take on what looks like I don't even know the maths on that. 50% there. What's that? 60%, like 110, 120% ownership. Arsenal defence. Yeah, I can't take that on with a hit. Yeah. A -4 down going up against 120% owned clean sheet. I'm good, thanks. Eze or Sarr on the bench. Eze's better than Sarr, I'd say. Dean to start. Yeah, if you've got Dean, I quite like him. Bench 1, Rodgers, Sarr, Mateta. I'd bench Rodgers. I think Rodgers just is the perfect first sub for me. Feels like he's always that. Would I captain De Bruyne if you are chasing? Yeah, listen, if you're chasing, I actually think this week is great for captaincy if you're chasing regardless. I don't think there isn't going to be a really high ownership player this week. So basically anyone you captain is likely to be a good differential for trying to gain rank as long as you get the right one. If Mbermo is the most captain but you get it right, it will still give you really good rank gains because I don't expect a massive ownership on Brian Mbermo captaincy this week. Like overall, he'll probably just break 100, but so will Marmoush, so will Isak probably, so will Salah. Let's go of Asensio or Saka. Asensio probably first. I do think Saka could be useful for the final two. Who to bench? Chris Wood, Salah, Cunha or Jacob Murphy? It's probably Cunha or Jacob Murphy there. You could bench Chris Wood. I probably would bench Jacob Murphy away at Brighton. I just think he's the one that's got the least to offer. He's also the only one in that list, I think, that wasn't on penalties as well. Love my thoughts on this. Saka to Mbermo, Rashford to Mbermo, and then either Raya to Pickford or Mateta to Wissa from -4. Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Raya to Pickford one or Mateta to Wissa. I would probably do the -4 in order to free up the money though. Yeah, I like if you're chasing, then I would take on the Arsenal defence, I think, this week. Duncan, how are we doing? Thank you very much for joining. Favourite Friday night takeaway? It would have to be pizza, Domino's, half and half, or pepperoni passion, but I very rarely have it. I don't think I've had Domino's in ages. Got to try and look somewhat presentable for a wedding in the summer, but yeah. It is the go-to of choice. Raya or Flecken with no other Arsenal, probably would go Flecken. I just think Arsenal concede, but I might be wrong. Will Savinio start? I mean, he's not predicted to. We can have a look at the scout predicted lineups. Just don't look better than Holly and you'll be fine. Don't worry, I will not do. That is easy. That is easy to look worse. Who are we looking at? City. You like Rodgers, think he's more involved player. Sarr is a mid, so more points for goal and clean sheet. Mateta one and pens. I would bench Rodgers. I just think he's the least likely to score out of all of them. Man City has McAtee, Gundogan, Marmoush, De Bruyne. Yeah, like it's the same narrow system that they've been playing is what they're predicted to play again. Again, it's not like guaranteed, but Zayed, thank you very much for the super chat. Sarr to Mbermo and Mateta to Wissa for a -4. Sarr to Mbermo, Mateta to Wissa. If you need the money for Mbermo by doing Mateta out for a hit, then yes. And thank you very much for your super chat. I appreciate it. I posted a wildcard squad in my video this morning. Yes, it doesn't really work with a bench boost. It's got double Bournemouth. Now, you could bench boost it 36 because Bournemouth have Villa at home. But if you are bench boosting, you might need to tweak it a little bit. If you are on wildcard, though, there is a thought through draft in the video from this morning in the complete guide video. So go and check it out. Livramento or Munoz. I don't really understand why Munoz would be benched. I think he's up there in top defenders for this week. Yeah. And Munoz would probably be on a free hit if I free hit this week. Maybe not, because I might just double up on Everton or something like that. But if I could only own like one defender from each team, I probably would have Munoz on a free hit. So I wouldn't be benching him this week. You're doing Bruno for Mbermo, but would I consider adding Saka to De Bruyne for a hit? If Saka, so I'm benching Saka, so I don't plan on selling him for a hit. I do think that I'm quite looking forward to having Saka for, like, I don't think these are the worst games. Liverpool having won the league, I actually think both Arsenal and Liverpool will have a point to prove in this game, particularly Arsenal. Newcastle home, Southampton away. If Arsenal get knocked out of the Champions League, I think Saka is suddenly a really fine asset. So I plan on holding this week. If they get through the Champions League to the final, I might reconsider and I might sell him in 36. But until then, I don't think I need to force him out for a hit. Bowen or Palmer in? Anyone who's watched my complete guide video will know how I thought of going Palmer on a free hit this week. Unfortunately, I did it. He's the only player, along with Chris Wood now, to blank. Yeah, I would not be buying Cole Palmer. I would not. Assistant manager and triple captain. I'd probably assistant manager this week, triple captain 38. Since you already have Bowen, should I do Rissa from Evan Nielsen? Yes, I like Rissa a lot. Rissa feels like a great differential. He looked so good last night. Really, really impressed me last night. Impressed me much more than Mbermo did. Of course, Mbermo has some set pieces and penalties as well, so you always have that benefit, and he's a midfielder. But if you took those away from Mbermo, Rissa looked so good last night. De Bruyne to Mbermo, plus assistant manager Pep, or Saka and Mateta out from Mbermo and Rissa with Glasner. I wouldn't take out De Bruyne to go Pep, personally. I'd do the other route. Hertzler is an okay assistant manager. I'd probably go Glasner, though. I think Hertzler's probably 4th in my ranking for assistant managers. I think. (16, 13, 12, 14, 2, 3 in the last 6 away games for Salah. Listen, I don't think Salah's a bad captaincy option at all. I don't think he's a bad pick at all. But I think I'm going somewhere else. It's likely to be Mbermo. Why aren't people talking about Watkins as a captain? I just don't think many people own Watkins. So the chat of captaincy is low. I think he's a decent option. He does play in the 12:30 kickoff. So like if that impacts your thinking, yeah. But I don't mind it at all as a captaincy. I do quite like Watkins. I think he's the best forward to buy this week as well. So he's got to be up there, right? If your team looks good, then when should you wildcard and bench boost? I mean, it depends how good your team is. You could bench boost and then just wildcard 38 and have a free punt at game week 38. Free hit 38, if you've still got it, is actually quite good because you can just go like triple Bournemouth at home to Leicester, which no one else will own, and just hope that they win it comfortably. You go triple Arsenal away at Southampton. Again, not many people are going to be able to get to that. There are certain other fixtures like going back on Newcastle at home to Everton. There's lots that you can do if you free hit 38. So that's probably the best option. If your team needs it, then you can just wildcard now, bench boost 36 or 37. 3 free transfers, Savinho and Saka out for Bowen and Mbermo. 3 free transfers, Savinho, Saka out for Bowen and Mbermo. Yep. The Bowen and Mbermo double swap is a nice combination of transfers. I like it this week. I expect them both to do well. I'm just not sure I can justify a -4 for Bowen this week. Start Murphy or Evan Nielsen chasing in your mini league. I wouldn't go Evan Nielsen. As much as Arsenal are expected to rotate, I don't expect loads of goals in that game. So I would go Murphy over Evan Nielsen. Do I think Saliba starts? Yes, I do. Good evening, Luke. How are we doing? Sorry if you've missed it, but when would I wildcard? I mean, it depends what your team looks like this week, but I think this is the best week left to wildcard, if not game week 30. It depends what your team looks like. If you can get through this week without a wildcard, then you're all good. But, yeah, it completely depends. Just keep pushing it back until your team needs it. And if you can save it to 38, then save it to 38. If I make 2 transfers, who's my second? I can do Foden to Mbermo and Sarr to Bowen for a hit, which is tempting. It is tempting. It allows me to keep Saka, Foden to Mbermo, and Sarr to Bowen for a -4. Bench Saka. Like, it is really tempting to do that. What am I drinking? It's just juice. Yeah, I tried to get as much water a day as possible. It's the best way of doing it. Like, I do think it's tempting. It allows me to keep Saka as well. Bowen and Mbermo in 2 home games. Spurs and Man United after their Love the example zip after their Europa League games as well. I am really tempted by it. Is it worth a -4 to... Is Bowen worth a hit over Sarr? I don't know. Like, probably not. Do I think he's a better pick further down the line? Probably. I know, -8. Yeah, if I did another one, it would be... Oh, actually, I can't... I can't afford the Areola Pickford on top of this, so... I don't know. I quite like it. Like, I think the transfers look okay. I think it looks decent enough for this week. But you can't see Bowen getting 4+ over Sarr this week. I think you're probably right. I don't think it's probably a hit I should take. Chances of Man City team news probably about 20%. Harry busy with some sorcery, great rank, but still owns Foden. Yeah, I just haven't played him, basically. I've been toying between him and Foden every week, who to bench. Start 1, Burn, Milenkovic or Kirkes. Wow. Not Burn. Probably Milenkovic, although I don't love it. If you've got loads of Palace, then maybe Kirkes. Just hope it's 0-0. Hope that Arsenal start Sterling and then hope it's 0-0. Yeah, I don't know. I am tempted by it. Like, Sarr to Bowen. It also helps in game week 38 a little bit. I'd have him for Ipswich away. But United away, Thursday, Sunday turnaround is pretty good, but like maybe Man United rotate, but yeah, I don't know. I am tempted by it. I don't think I'll do it, but there are a few hits this week that I do look at and wonder if they will pay off. It's like doing Areola to Pickford. I'm not going to do it, but I'm just going to... I just feel like I'm going to regret it when I get to, 7 o'clock tomorrow night and Arsenal have conceded and Pickford kept a clean sheet. But I will not be focusing on my FPL team. I will not be focusing on my FPL team at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, I don't think. Or 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, regardless. Wright or Martinez with Saliba in the team? Wright or Martinez with Saliba? I'd probably go Martinez and split the risk. Saka, Savinho out and Burmo De Bruyne in. Yeah, for a hit, I still would do that. Yeah, I think they're good moves. Yeah, I think there's some hits which can definitely work this week if you want to go for it. I will plan on captaining and Burmo when I buy him, yeah. Question is if we heard that Foden was going to start, it's how I get. I can't really do... Like, I could do Sarr to Bowen. No, I can't even do that. Sarr to Burmo leaves me 0.9 short. Yeah. I just have no way of freeing up that money. Even if I went Bowen, I could free up 0.3 somewhere. Yeah. Get rid of Saka. Maybe Saka out, but like I would probably just do Saka to Mbermo. Like, part of me just wants to do the transfer now, just so I don't even... just so I don't even worry about Foden news. Hang on, what was that? Sell Saka, you coward. He will be exhausted after 120 minutes versus PSG next week. I'm not starting Saka this week, though. I've got a bigger problem in Phil Foden to deal with. Unfortunately, I have two very expensive midfielders who are both issues for me. I have to fix one of them first, and Foden feels like a bigger issue. Because the issue is, with Saka, is the closer you get to the end of the season, the more I think he'll look like a better option. Whereas Foden is just... Foden doesn't get better the longer... Foden doesn't get better the longer you get to it. Like, Foden is just a... Like, I don't get to game week 37 and think, oh yeah, Foden is suddenly a better pick than he is now. He just gets probably worse as time goes on. Well, probably not worse. He's just equally as bad. I could sell them both. But again, like, taking a hit to bench Rodgers, I'm not really sure it's worth it. O'Brien over Mikalenko, I probably would. Surely bench boost this week is viable. You have a similar team to you and you have De Bruyne over Foden and Burn over Milenkovic. Listen, I don't mind the bench boost this week, but if I don't think Saka starts, I don't think I can bench boost Milenkovic and Williams away at Palace. And I'm just not bench boosting that, I don't think. And Spurs have been scoring goals. West Ham are not great. I can't bench boost double Forest away at Palace after what I saw last night, I don't think. If I don't think Saka's going to start. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. Captain is likely to be in Burmo once I buy him. The plan is Foden to Burmo. Will Savinho play? We don't know. He's not in the predicted lineups. Foden isn't either. De Bruyne is. But would I take Foden starting if it meant De Bruyne was benched? What would I do in that? In that situation, I think I'd have to play Foden. Would I start Collins or Munoz this week? Would I start Collins or Munoz this week? If Foden starts, am I still selling from Burmo? I probably would have to do Saka to Burmo. Because this is what I was looking at. If I do Sarr to Burmo, I don't really have a way to free up the money. Really. Like, I can't even do that. I'm 0.1 short of that. So I could sell Wissa. A Mateta to Wissa is the other option if I wanted to do that. That would be it. Mateta out for a hit. Selling double Palace, though, for a hit. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but... That's all right. Like, maybe that would be how I do it, but I don't really feel confident selling Mateta and Sarr for a hit. Doesn't feel like a very sensible thing to do. And it also, if I want Watkins, Mateta to like, the issue is, I would have to sell Foden, I think. Saka if Foden started, because the issue is, if I do Saka to Burmo, it leaves me money for Mateta to Watkins. If I wanted to do that. It leaves me the money, but it doesn't leave the money if I was to sell Sarr. It doesn't get close to the money. So I think if Foden was to start, I probably would sell Saka. I might still sell Foden. I could just not buy Burmo. But then I want Burmo next week. So, how I feel about wildcard 37 then bench boost 38. I don't love the bench boost 38 because you're expecting rotation, and there are some teams which you want in 38 which don't have great fixtures in 37. But if you can find a draft that makes it work, then I don't mind it. But you'll have Wissa. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I do want Watkins for that Spurs game. Why is everyone getting rid of Saar and from Burmo? It's just been quite frustrating from an FPL point of view since we wildcarded in 30. He scored 225. He's had 1 assist in that time. The underlying data's been okay. Just the output's been really bad. So that's why a lot of people are selling him. I don't think he's a definite sell, no. Why Murphy or Asensio to Mbermo? I'd sell probably Asensio. Plan is to bench boost 37. Probably. It could be 36. Could be 36. Probably 37 for the bench boost, though. Benching ranking. Yeah, I'm happy to keep adding players to it. I'm happy to keep adding players to it. Oh, the fixtures are working. Good. Sorry, that's what I was looking at. Fixtures are fixed. The dark green is fixed for those of you who are worried about it earlier on in the stream. Thank you all for joining, by the way. We are almost an hour into the stream and I haven't even plugged likes and subscribes once. So let me do it lots very quickly. So if you haven't liked and you haven't subscribed, please do. And appreciate the fact that I haven't plugged it once in the past hour, apart from the start. Thank you very much. 6,000 of you in, only 700 likes. All 6,000 of you haven't liked the stream. Thank you very much. Can I check Bowen versus fullback at Spurs? But I think it's likely to be Jed Spence at left back. I think that's what the predictions are. Sell Mateta or Munoz to get Glasner, presumably. Probably Mateta. I think the alternatives to Mateta are better than the alternatives to Munoz, I would say. And Mateta's minutes are the more nervy. What do I think about Asensio if you already have him? I'd probably look to bench and see how his minutes go tomorrow and then make a decision. It is an hour and 4 minutes till the deadline. It is as it says here, a Friday 6:30 p.m. deadline, and it is 5:27 UK time now. What's happening with De Bruyne? He's expected to start. I like De Bruyne as a pick this week. Commit to the hit, Harry. You need a reason. Okay, I don't do hits. I've taken hits, I think, once this season, and they were all in the same week where I took my -8. Yeah, I've taken hits once this season, and they were all in the same week. Oh, wow. I don't plan on changing that trend. What's Foden doing there? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm hoping he won't be there by the deadline. If I had Mikalenko, I'd start him over Konza, yeah. I really wish... instead of buying Milenkovic a few weeks ago, I'd bought an Everton defender. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. Is Robert Sanchez a likely start? He should do, yeah. I think he's okay. But Foden from Burma is a no-brainer. Yeah, I agree. Unless we hear that Foden starts, in which case I'd probably do Saka to Mbeumo. I think. And bench Rodgers. Ride to Pickford for a -4 so you can free up an Arsenal spot for the final day. Listen, I don't mind Ride to Pickford. I actually prefer your backup goalkeeper to Pickford so you can keep Raya for Southampton away. I wouldn't do Ride to Pickford because game week 38, you've got the same issue, right? Kivior versus Munoz, definitely Munoz. Sarr versus Murphy, Sarr as well. Long-term pick, Watkins or Wissa. If you've got the money, I'd go Watkins, but I don't think there's that much in it. Newcastle haven't beaten Brighton away since 2017. Is that true? I knew they had a bad record against them, and I know Brighton have beat them twice this season already, one in the Cup and one in the league, but I didn't know it was quite that bad. You need to use the manager chip. You're chasing who? Glasner this week if you can. If not, David Moyes for 3 weeks with 2 normal games and then a table bonus game away to Fulham in the middle. Or you go really punty and you go with the Hertzler, the Brighton manager. When will I use my bench boost? The plan is to bench boost in 37 probably. It's possible I bench boost in game week 36. It might depend a little bit on Arsenal. Yeah, assistant manager Zayed, it depends if you're chasing. Pep, Glasner, Moyes, Thomas Frank, one of these. The boring option is someone like is Pep if you've got the spot. Subscriber only mode, thank you very much. We are going to drop it in subscriber only mode for the final hour of the stream. You literally have to subscribe for 1 second to start using the chat again. But we do this every week. So if you are not subscribed and we're in game week 35, first of all, welcome to the channel if you are new. I appreciate you joining. Please do subscribe if you haven't. And let's do that. Let's do that. Kivior or Konza? Probably Konza. It depends if you've got Raya. I probably would want for me the optimal play is to play one Arsenal defender / goalkeeper. I don't think you need 2. I'm happy with 1. Tom, do I think we get something versus Liverpool? I have no idea why all the predictions have Chelsea to actually get points against Liverpool. I think we get beat. I don't really understand it. I do think Salah is a good buy. Is there no goalkeepers? Yeah, there is. Oh, there should be. Yeah, there is. There is. Am I going for Mbeumo? The plan is Foden to Mbeumo, unless Foden was to start, in which case I'd do Saka to Mbeumo. The issue I've got, right? The real issue I've got is I just think I need to get rid of Foden. Because if I'm going to free hit, if I'm going to bench boost in game week 37, he's going to have to go. Because I can't bench boost with Foden in my team at home to Bournemouth. I don't think I can take the risk that he just plays 0 minutes. I can't have him on my bench boost when the game is 48 hours after the deadline. If not more, it's like 72 hours after the deadline. I just don't think I can keep Foden regardless. I just think Saka's a better pick that week. Foden's getting a hat-trick. Listen, I'm not sure. Has he scored 3 goals all season? He did, actually. He went on that period where he scored loads. Here, goal, assist, goal, 2 goals, 2 goals, assist, goal. If I sell him and he does haul, though, it will be a painful thing. I don't know. I think Foden will probably get some start between now and the end of the season, but why is O'Reilly not an option moving forward? He's a midfielder, not a defender, which just makes buying him difficult, I think. You've got 2 free transfers and the assistant manager. You've done Saka to Mbeumo. You already have Eze, Burn and Salah. Should I sell Livramento and play assistant manager? I'd play assistant manager on Pep or Glasner if you can, or David Moyes. I don't know if you need to sell Livramento to do that, but yeah. But Brighton are extremely leaky. You're back in ease up Cap and Murphy. I think that's absolutely fine. Is this a good week to use your free hit? No, if you've got the free hit, I'd save it for game week 38. Why would I go O'Brien instead of Mikalenko, for example? I just think that I've owned Mikalenko. His attacking threat is not great. O'Brien's better for bonus points. His goal threat is slightly better as well. They rely a lot on set pieces. I just think O'Brien's a slightly better pick. I don't think there's that much between it, but I think I'd go O'Brien. You're struggling to go for Mbermo over Bowen. Bowen has just been so good over the past couple of games. Yeah, I just think West Ham as a team are not particularly exciting and thrilling at the moment. So I think Brentford have got more to play for as well. They're still chasing the European spots. Would I do Saka to Mbermo for free or do Rashford and Mateta to Mbermo and Wissa for -8? Stephen, I think we did this. I would do the -4. I'd take the hit for it. Is Moyes good? Yep, I think Moyes is probably in my top 3 assistant managers if you're looking to play it this week. That's why. I was like, why am I really zoomed in? It's because my camera needs to go back. There we go. That'll help it a little bit. Phil Foden Hall will hurt me since you've sold him from Burmo. The thing is, with something like Foden, a Foden Hall will not hurt my rank, but it will hurt my emotions. That's what I say when a player who's not highly owned does well. Like, it doesn't hurt my rank. Like, my rank won't change if Foden does well. It will hurt my emotions instead, because I'll have sold him if I sell him this week. But I think the bench boost is causing me issues for anyone who can't tell. I just think Foden is still a issue further down the line. And I just can't fathom that I've still got to deal with that. Start who? Mikalenko or... Yeah, if you've got an Everton defender, you have to play them. Everton defence is the best in the game this week, I think. Most likely clean sheet odds, along with City. Who would I bench? Rodgers, Sarr or Mateta? I'd bench Rodgers out of those, personally. -4 for Savinho to De Bruyne if you're going to captain De Bruyne. Yeah, if you're going to captain De Bruyne, I don't mind a -4 for him. I think he's a better long-term hold than Savinho anyway, so I would probably just do it. Sarr to Bowen or Mateta to Wissa. Why hold Palace? I mean, I don't really understand the sheer desire for people to sell Palace. They're playing a Forest team who looked pretty dreadful on Thursday night. They've got home game against Forest and then away at Spurs with a week gap either side of all of those games and then a week gap until the final as well. Why do I hate Rodgers? I don't know. Rodgers just screams the perfect first sub player for most of us, I think. He just screams first bench. You had double defence for your Man City. Should I sell one of them and bring Pep or transfer assistant manager to next week? If you've got like Diaz, I think it's fine to sell him. Bench Kiwior or Konza, you're playing Raya. Then I probably would play Konza and only play one Arsenal. Again, that's my general opinion. That is, one Arsenal is probably the way I'd want to go this week. I'd only want one Arsenal, I think. Liam, Savinho or Sarr to Mbermo if Savinho starts. Well, if Savinho starts, then you sell Sarr, I think. But the issue is you've got the same issue with Savinho that I've got with Foden. Even if they start tonight, like, what are the chances they start next weekend? Still pretty slim. The chances of me getting 2 starts out of Foden just doesn't fill me with any confidence. Which is why even if he does start, I just part of me just wants to make the transfer now and then I don't have to worry about it. But Brentford manager I think's fine. I think I slightly prefer David Moyes, but I don't think there's that much in it. Like, what are the chances? Again, yeah, like zilch. The chances of Foden playing 2 games back to back, almost nothing, right? Didn't play any minutes in the double. Didn't play virtually much of the FA Cup semi-final. Yeah, sell Murphy or Sarr to Mbeumo. Probably Murphy. I don't love the Newcastle fixtures enough for loads of goals and minutes for Murphy. You'll probably get an extra 90 minutes of Sarr over Murphy between now and the end of the season. So, how good is Wolves' defence to not captain Marmoush? I think Marmoush is a pretty decent captain. I think I'll likely be on Mbeumo. There's always the extra appeal of captaining a midfielder as well. You get the extra point for a goal, extra point for a clean sheet if they go on to keep one as well. So you just have that added appeal that if they both get 1 return, you're probably going to get more from the midfielder than you are from the forward. So I like Marmoush as a captain. I also like De Bruyne. Isak, I think, is going massively under the radar as well. The plan for me this week is to do Foden out to Mbeumo. It's the plan, but City are the early kickoff, or the Friday night games, so I've got to wait for that. Realistically, what was that? Realistically, does Foden even outscore Mbeumo even if he starts? Well, that's the other thing, right? But if Foden starts, I'm just not sure. I'll find it very difficult to sell him. I'll find it difficult, I think. Saliba or Dan Burn? I'd probably go Saliba. I think Brighton score. It's just if Foden starts, how do I do it? How do I get Mbeumo without selling Saka? Like, where is the -4 going here? I need to figure out 0.9. I would do Milenkovic to Mikalenko this week, but I can't afford it. Got to rip off the Foden band-aid. You're probably right. Yeah, I don't see anything yet for those asking on City. Just taking a look. Again, if you see anything on Twitter that you want me to look at, please do tag me in it. And I will share anything reliable. Anything that I get tagged in that's not reliable, I will just leave it at that. So, where were we? Who's actually on pens for City? It's either De Bruyne or Marmoush. We don't actually know. Like, where would I get the money for this? Like Raya? Like Raya to Flecken for a hit? Really, Harry? Surely not. He's just whopped out a 13-pointer. Like, I could do that. Raya to Flecken. Mateta to Wissa is the other option, yeah. But then I'm selling double Palace, and that just feels like it's definitely going to backfire. Saliba or Munoz? Munoz definitely. What's my thoughts on Savinio to Mbeumo? I would do that as well, yep. I would. Mateta to Wissa for a -4. I don't think I'd do that. Unless you need the money, but still probably no. Bench 1 of Mateta, Rodgers, Savinio, Sarr. I doubt we get City news, so I'd probably bench Savinio. We haven't got anything on City yet. We have got 45 minutes to go until the deadline. O'Brien or Gavardiol. I mean, if you're buying one this week, I still think Gavardiol is the best defender for the final 4 weeks. But yeah, so Gavardiol, basically. You have bench boost. Terrible bench at the moment. Oh, tell me about it. Free hit and wildcard left. What to do? Is there anything? So I would probably either wildcard this week or wildcard 36, bench boost 37, free hit 38. Free hit 38 is a great strategy. I really like it. Yeah. Captaining and Burmo, Bowen or Watkins if you're chasing. I think any captain is a good option if you're chasing. You have to pick the player you expect to score the most points, just because I don't think even someone like Mbermo is likely to be highly owned enough that it does anything to your rank. People captaining Mbermo is so embarrassing. Are people really this bad at this game? I mean, he's playing a Man United team who are not shipping chances, are expected to rotate pretty heavily. It's a home fixture for Brentford as well. I think Mbermo is a pretty decent captain this week. His plans to be my captain. Would I bring in Bowen or KDB for Savinho? If you can get to De Bruyne, I prefer De Bruyne. No City team news yet. We have nothing. Nope. We have nothing. Play Rodgers or Sarr. Sarr is just over Rodgers for me, but I have a more negative opinion of him than Raya, Sarr to Pickford and Burmo. If Raya to Pickford frees up the money, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Would I start Pickford or Raya? Pickford definitely over Raya if you've got Pickford. O'Brien over Gavardiol or Konza. Konza benched easily. Yeah, if I had O'Brien, I'd bench Konza, and if I had Pickford, I'd bench Raya. Olaraina or Milenkovic for Mikalenko. Probably Olaraina, just because he's coming back from fitness, so you never know. You never know. It's probably safer just to keep Milenkovic. Although Olaraina did look pretty good last night from an attacking point of view. Defensively, Forest are all over the place. Yeah. Here is one to ponder for me. Sell Sarr to Mbermo and Timber to Agbadu so that you can keep Saka. Yeah, I don't mind that. Who could I sell Milenkovic to if I did it? Pineapple, do to the left, to the right, dynamite, to the do. Start Konza over Saliba. You have Raya in goal. Probably would go Saliba over Konza. I just don't love the Villa defense. Who can I afford here that's any good? Agadou. Yeah, I could do that. Palace away though. How much is Patterson? Well, I can't afford him. Mazrari. Dunk. Well, I'm not bench boosting Dunk at home to Liverpool, am I? Yeah, there's not very much in terms of defenders at this price. There isn't anything at all, really. Who's out of interest? Who in this bracket are people buying? If any, transfers in. Sessegnon. Yeah, I think it's too much of a risk. But I could be bench boosting in 37 with him away at Brentford playing right wing. But I'm not sure I can take a risk on Sessegnon. Vandenberg. Has he played? Oh, he has actually. Interesting. Vandenberg at home to Fulham. Flecken. I could just go over Raya. If only Keane was going to play. Didn't bode well for him when he came on the other day. Anyway, where were we? Forest attackers, they don't look like they've got many goals in them left. I would not go for a Forest attacker, despite the fixtures looking good. Start Saliba or Munoz. Yeah, I think we've done that. I would go Munoz over Saliba, definitely, Joel. Morgan Rogers on 9 yellows. 10 yellows is a 2-game ban, right? No, the 10 yellows has... The 10 yellow window is passed. It was game week 32. So, yeah. Arsenal fans, very highly owned. Don't risk going against them at your rank. I agree. Like, it's like 120% owned. It'll be basically everyone has an Arsenal defender on average. So, I don't think it's worth me betting against it. Specifically for a hit as well. You feel bad for Forest. They aren't going to get Europe at this time. I think they'll get Europe, but it might not be Champions League. It might be the Europa. Part of me thinks that Europa League would be better for them. Like, they have a better chance of competing. Like, I don't mean any offense to Forest, but I don't see them doing particularly well if they're in the Champions League next year. Plus, it would hamper their Premier League performance loads. I mean, of course they want it and they deserve it at the moment. And they probably do deserve it. But I don't think it will bode well for them next season. God, I thought they were going to be cleaner. Should I sell Wood to Wisser for free? I don't think I'd move off Chris Wood. Still got decent fixtures, but I don't think I'd be buying him new. Don't think I'd buy new. Say he's a Chelsea fan. Yeah, true. It's true. There is bias. But also my fiance is a Forest fan though, so I have bias there as well. Am I doing Marmouche Camps? You're just wondering tonight through your thought process. The plan is to do Mbermo. I just got to wait a little bit closer to the deadline in case we hear anything on City. But the issue is because I've got to do it and I've got to change captaincy as well, I can't leave it really late. I'll probably do it at about 10 minutes. I'll have to do it about 10 minutes before the deadline, I imagine. 5 minutes because I've got to move the captaincy as well. With O'Brien in your lineup already, do I just start Raya over Pickford? I still think I'd double up if you've got Raya and Pickford. I just think Everton are much better options than Arsenal this week. I said in one of my videos this week, I didn't even realise it until I put the video out and everyone was commenting on it. I think I must have called Milenkovic Mikalenkovic. I think it was that way around rather than calling Mikalenkovic. I think I called Milenkovic Mikalenkovic in one of my videos this week. I got confused between my two favourite defenders. Will I sell any of my forwards to Wisser? If I was going to sell one, it would be Mateta, I imagine. FPL app is very slow. There probably is a lot of Friday transfers. There probably are. Right, let's do some of these then. JP96. Start Sarr and Raya or Martinez and Rodgers. You have triple Palace and have double Arsenal doing... If you've got double Arsenal, I'd start Martinez. I'd go Martinez Sarr, to be honest, based on my ranking. I'd go Martinez, yeah. Jack? Would I rather do Moyes or Guardiola for assistant manager? I'd rather do Guardiola, but if you've got Triple City, then you can just go... Oh, yeah, I also called Pope Leno as well. Good stuff, good stuff. That was a late night record after during the Forest game as well. Yeah, I Pep would be my choice of assistant managers this week. But if you've got Triple City, then Moyes. Savinho and Saka to Mbeumo and Bowen for a hit. Yes, don't have any problem with that. Sarr and Kirkes to Mbeumo and Mikalenko for a -4. Asked Hujam. Yes, I presume you need the money from Kirkes to do it, so yes. Why not Raya to Pickford? It would be a hit, and I don't think it's worth a -4. And I said Darwin spoke Uruguayan. All right, I've had a few howlers in the past week. Just a few. Just a few. I'm all over the place. You also said, said something in Uruguayan. That was a good one. One of my finest moments. Thoughts on Marlon starting? I think it's unlikely. You've missed my early parts of the stream. Why Saka bench? He's not predicted to start for Arsenal. He's predicted to be on the bench. Arsenal's predicted lineup is not good viewing. I'll show you what the Scout have as their predicted lineup. If you want to check out Scout, you can. Link in the description and all that. Wanyeri, Trossard, Sterling. Is the predicted front three. Am I on course to be happy or disappointed about my FPL season? It will depend if I finish in the top 10k or not. Basically, that's the aim. To keep the run alive is the aim. I'm feeling nervous about it, I have to admit. I'm 14 points inside the top 10k. 14. That's what live FPL tells me. And if you divide 14 by the 4 game weeks we have left, I need a red arrow of, 3.5 points per game week. So anything that's better than a red arrow of 3.5 points, like even a red arrow of 1 point is fine. Anything that makes that margin of error get bigger every game week, I'm fine with it. A red arrow of more than 3.5 points, then we have problems. I do still have the bench boost to play, but also other people have the triple captain and stuff as well. So would I start 4 at the back? No. If I had an Everton defender, I'd just bench Konza. So yeah, that's where we're at. If I get 2 green arrows in the last 4, I'd imagine that I would do it. 3 and it will be close. 4 and I'll probably end up outside the top 10k. So that's where we're at. It's going to be close, I think. Mateta to Wissa or Saka to Bowen to add to Mbeumo. Mateta to Wissa. Probably Saka. Probably Mateta because I still like Saka for the final few weeks. Areola sells and Watkins captain over Mbeumo and Marmoush. If you've got Watkins and Mbeumo and Marmoush, I think Watkins is a differential enough. I probably would still captain Mbeumo if it was me. Sells feels like the one to play over Areola still. -4 for an Everton defender, like probably not. If it frees up enough money to do something else, then maybe, but it doesn't get me there. I'm 0.1 short. It looks weird because I have a green screen, of course, and green screen starts to pick up anything which starts to have a hint of green in it. So even something like yellow starts to look weird in a green screen light. Like I have this, I don't even know if this will show. Ooh. Like stuff just shows up weirdly, even if it's not. This is like, do you know what I mean? Like it changes color, even if it's got a bit of yellow, a bit of green in it. So I'm drinking orange squash. I'm going to buy Mbeumo. That's the plan. in place of Foden. If Foden was to start, I'm considering doing Sarr or Mateta and Burmo in for Sarr and Mateta out as well. Like, that's also something I could do. But selling double Palace, I don't feel that comfortable with that. But would I sell Mateta to Wissa or Watkins for a -4? If I could go Watkins, I would, but I would need the money. But in your situation, I prefer Watkins over Wissa, but it's a budget thing as well, right? Is Raya starting? He's expected. Also, the backup Arsenal goalkeeper he can't play because he's on loan from Bournemouth. So Raya almost certainly has to play. Unless they go for their third choice keeper, which I do not see him doing. When am I bench boosting? The plan is game week 37. In theory, if there was a surprise double of the Villa Spurs game, it could be played in game week 36. But the plan for me now is game week 37. It will be Konza at home to Spurs. It will be Areola at home to Forest. It will be Williams at home away to West Ham. And probably Sarr at home to Wolves because they're after the cup final. And I just hope that I get a return from one of those 4 players and I break 10 points on the bench boost. Yeah, Kepa over Raya. No, I'd play Raya over Kepa. My obsession with Foden is something else. I plan on selling him this week. You'll be glad to hear. I agree. It hasn't been a good pick. It has not worked. Munoz or Trippier? Munoz. Again, Munoz is in my top 3 defenders this week. I don't really have any reason to be benching Munoz, I don't think. Half an hour to go until the deadline. How sure are you bench? I'm definitely benching Saka. I'm not starting Saka. I'm either benching him or I'm selling him. I'm not starting Saka this week. I don't see any situation unless there was news that Marmoush got benched. Then I still think I would bench Saka because I'd sell Marmoush. On wildcard, you have Burmo, De Bruyne, Salah, Bowen. What on another mids plan to bench boost 36? Currently on Gibbs White. Need an opinion. Yeah, it's Gibbs White or someone like an Alanga if you don't have the money. But yes, that's fine. Yeah, Everton defence, Mikalenko, O'Brien. There's not much between them. I wouldn't go up to someone like a Branthwaite. I would just stay with the cheapest one. But yeah, I would. There's not much between the two of those. I would personally go O'Brien. I just think his goal threat slightly better. He's more likely to come with a 15-pointer. Let's see if anyone's tagged me in anything. How likely are team leaks? Pretty unlikely. We don't seem to get them anymore. They seem to have dried up this season and second half of the season even more as well. Why not Isak for Wissa, not Mateta? Because I think Isak and Newcastle have got loads to play for between now and the end of the season. So I expect them to continue, and I think there's slight risk of Mateta's minutes. Why not play Areola? Because again, there's so much ownership in Arsenal, and the defensive play is just to play Raya, and just basically you have 10 players. One of them is an Arsenal defender. Now, of course, Saliba or Kivior can score, but Rodgers or Mateta. I would probably play all the Palace midfielders over Rodgers this week. Will Savinho start? He's not predicted to. He might. He's not predicted to. Listen, if Foden does well, Foden starts, I still think I'll probably sell him because I still think Saka is a better long-term hold than Foden is. But yeah, it will be difficult. Maybe I would do... Maybe I sell Raya. Maybe I go Flecken. Maybe I would do Sarr to Mbermo, Raya to Flecken. Assistant manager, you've got Pep, you've got Glasner, you've got Moyes, you've got Thomas Frank, and maybe Hertzler if you really wanted to punt it. Those are some options if you're on assistant manager this week. I prefer assistant manager 35 to 36. I don't think it's any better next week, so I would probably look to play it this week. You have Munoz, Sarr, Mateta, but want to assistant manager Glasner. Who should you get rid of? Probably Mateta. I would say Mateta to Wissa, or if you can do Sarr to Mbermo or Sarr to Bowen, then that, but if not, then probably Mateta. Semenyo to Bowen, yeah, I don't mind that transfer. I know he scored in the blank, but I would still happily sell Semenyo at the moment. Start Saka or Murphy. It's close that. I still think I would probably just about go Murphy because I'm not certain on... Because I'm not certain on... I can't even remember what I was saying now. Yeah, I was on the FPL show. Sell Sarr or Saka from Burmo. Who's the better hold? Sell Sarr or Saka from Burma. If you can sell Sarr for him, I probably would. Sorry, I'm just looking at stuff people have tagged me, and there's lots of fake stuff already as well, so just be careful. Be careful. Thank you for tagging me in it, though, but... Marmoush or De Bruyne captain? Probably Marmoush. I think it's pretty close, though. I think it's pretty close. 2 free transfers. Would I get Pickford for Raya? You have Flecken 2 and get Bowen for Savino and Murphy, or just 2 of them, no -4. I don't think I'd do the goalkeeper one if you've got Flecken. I would just do the 2 midfielder transfers. I think about Murphy, I think he's an absolutely fine hold. I think Newcastle have got a lot to play for. Motivation is there. Minute slightly lower than you'd want, but I think he's an absolutely fine hold. Start Konza or Kirior. Konza if you've got Raya. If it's your only arse defender, then Kirior. Sarr and Savinio to Burma and Burn from -4. Your bench boost next week. Yes, I would do that. No City news as of yet. Is Foden starting? We don't know. I plan on selling him for Mbermo before the deadline. We've only got 23 minutes to go, though, so 22 minutes. Rodgers or Sarr? Again, this is really close. I feel like I've been asked it a lot. I would probably just about go for the Palace attackers over going with Rodgers this week. I just think I fancy the Palace attack slightly more. I don't think there's loads in it, but I think I would go Sarr. Assistant manager 35 or 36. Yeah, I think it's better this week. I don't see any manager who's better next week than they are this week, personally. KDB and Rice to Mbeumo and Bowen. Yeah, definitely. No, wait, that was De Bruyne out. No, I wouldn't do De Bruyne out, even to free up money. No. Sorry, I just presumed it was Foden or Saka because it was an expensive midfielder. No, I wouldn't sell De Bruyne. Pep, Glasner, Moyes. If you want to just go 3 weeks and you've got a spare City slot, then I would go Pep. If you've got loads of transfers, then Glasner's okay, but it's just going to cause you issues. Like Glasner, you're going to have to move it again next week. And the issue with going it and moving it next week is then who do you go on next week? Like you could go to Brentford then or City, but then you're not going to go City if you've already done it. Like Forest and then Forest away. I would probably pick a manager in either Pep or Moyes and just stick with them for 3 weeks if it was me. Is it good to go Cunha to Wissa for free? I don't think so. I think Cunha for the last 3 weeks is a really nice pick, so I wouldn't make that. You're in Dubai and I'm on the telly on beIN Sports. I was on the fantasy show this morning, so that will probably be it. Always cool. Start Rodgers or Murphy. Rodgers over Murphy, I think, yeah. Lalari, how are we doing? You can do De Bruyne and Mbeumo in for free, but should I add a -8 to get Bowen and Flecken also? I don't think Flecken is definitely not worth a hit, and Bowen is probably not worth a -8 if it gets you. If Flecken is to give you the money, I don't think I'd do it, no. Savinho to Bowen or Mateta to Wissa. Yeah, we did. You have Mbeumo. Savinho out is better, I think. Saka and Savinho to Mbeumo and Bowen bench Rodgers. Yes, I would do that. Start 3 arse defense or hedge and play Konza. I would hedge and play Konza. Personally. Murphy to Bowen for a -4. It's pretty close. I think probably not. If you're chasing and you want to be aggressive, go for it. But I don't think I'd take a -4 to do that transfer. Saka and Savinho. Yeah. To Mbeumo and Bowen. Yes, I would do that. Lots of people asking me Saka and Savinho to Mbeumo and Bowen. I would do it for a -4. Yeah, I think I would. Presumably because you need the money. Saka out for one of them to give you a benching ranking isn't fully worth it, but if it gives you the money, then it's fine. Thomas Frank is also work as assistant manager. Yep, that's fine. You could go him for 3 weeks as well. Pretty decent Brentford fixtures, especially given we expect Man United to rotate pretty heavily. Plan is to bench boost in game week 37, most likely. It could be game week 36, depending on how things fall, but most likely game week 37. Stephen, your assistant manager chip to use. Which manager? You have 3 City and 3 Palace. I'd either go Brentford or I'd go Everton if you've got 3 City, 3 Palace. As long as you're not, presumably they're not ones like Savinho or Foden. If it's De Bruyne, then you're not going to sell him. If it's Savinho or Foden, I'd probably sell one and go Pep. But if you've got De Bruyne, got the De Bruyne triple up, then I probably wouldn't. Savinho, Sarr, or Mateta. I'd bench Savinho. I just think he's the least likely to start, Kieran. Yeah, those of you with Savinho, I mean, he's fine. I do think there's a big risk he doesn't start. The prediction is City stick with a pretty similar setup and structure, which doesn't fit Savinho and Doku in. It doesn't really play with wingers. It plays with just a lot of... central players. Plan is to do Foden to Mbeumo this week. Will Saka play? I'm not predicting him to start, which is why he's on my bench. Thoughts on a minus 12, 40 behind in your mini league and have a bench boost. The minus 12. The thing is, if you're 40, as this stands for a lot of people, if you're like 20 points behind, or you're like 20 points ahead, taking hits, although the moves might look better, you are just giving your opponent 3 points. Like, you're just going, here you go, I'm going to take a hit. And here's 4 points. Now, it might improve over the long run, but if you're in a heated mini league battle, I think hits are not generally recommended. Foden, Sarr, Mateta, Areola for Pickford, Bowen, and Burmo Wissa. Like, they're good moves, but I don't think Mateta to Wissa is worth a hit unless you need the money. So I don't think I'd do that for a minus 12. If you're really chasing, it's an aggressive move. I don't completely hate it as much as I thought I would looking at a minus 12, but yeah, I don't love it enough. City team news, sadly nothing. Sadly nothing. Will Foden start or come off the bench? I'm planning on selling him from Burmo. I'm just going to wait until we get closer to the deadline. Yeah. I might sell Raya if Foden was to start. I might sell Raya and do Raya to Flecken to get the money for Sarr. Feels weird though. I don't see any City leaks. Oh, good. My phone is just... Ah. Please, as they say, use these at your own discretion. They are right 99 times out of 100, but Marmouche, Haaland doesn't start. Marmouche does, apparently. They're not 100% accurate, but they're right pretty much every time, these guys. So, yeah. Was expected, but yeah. There you go. There we go. When am I playing my bench boost? It is planned for 37. Would I go Guardiola or Frank? If I had the space for City, I'd go Guardiola. Yeah, you've got triple captain probably next week, or game week 36 on City away at Southampton, or 37 on Watkins against Spurs is probably the top cup. Or game week 38, just play it on Salah at home to Palace is another option. Read your super chat. Oh, of course. You're the same team as me. You've got De Bruyne. Should I sell Saka from Bournemouth for free? If I had the same team but I had De Bruyne, I probably would go I'd do the Sarr out move for a -4 probably. If I had De Bruyne in there. I mean, Marmouche up front with it does tempt you to captain him, but How long have we got? Got 12 minutes. Sarr and Saka to Mbermo. So Sarr to Mbermo, Mateta to Wissa, or just leave it. I would do it. I would do it. Yeah. I don't really have much time. Oh, no. Right. We are... It's not all quiet on the city. Main Road has tweeted, do I tweet at 6:29 again? You're chasing top 10k. Let's see if we get anything more. Let's see if there's anything. I might have to delay the Foden decision a little bit. Burma win for Foden is still the plan. I said at 10 minutes to the deadline I would make my transfers. I do not feel like I'm ready to make it though. Any news on De Bruyne? Nothing yet, but I would be surprised. I'd be surprised if it's not just a very similar team to what we've seen before. Sarr to Bowen for a -4. Probably not worth a hit. You're chasing first in your mini league, 30 points. You still have bench boost over him. The problem is he almost has the same team as me, except for my 2 4H defenders. Do I just start them over Munoz or Konza? I'd go Milenkovic over Konza, yeah. I wouldn't bench Munoz. But I would, if it's a differential, I'd go Milenkovic over Konza. Yes, I would. Oh, come on. Someone say something about Foden. I'm the only person who's still got Foden, so no one cares. They're not going to put Foden in the news. Marmoush or De Bruyne. I'd probably go Marmoush if I had to have one of them. That also means that Main Road has likely got the news. Foden. People saying you've got Foden. Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. Andy went Saka to Bumo. Savinho to Bowen. Savinho to Bowen I do for free. I'm not sure I'd do it for a hit. I don't want the site to crash. I don't want the site to crash. Saka to Bowen or Mateta to Wissa to free up money. Saka to Bowen or Mateta to Wissa. I'd probably, if you need money, I don't mind selling Saka. Oh, I don't have long. Right, I'm going to give it until 5-2 and then I'm going to do my transfers. Nothing on Savinho. The only thing we've got is Marmoush. It looks like Marmoush is up front and Haaland isn't starting. And there's no Haaland, so that's all we've got now. But it does sound like there is news because Main Road has tweeted saying, should I tweet now or wait until 29? I can't wait until 29 though because I won't be able to move the captaincy in time. I'm not running that risk. I'm not running the risk. I'll go at 25 past. Wyan Burma is a better captain than Isak. I think it's pretty close. I generally prefer to captain a midfielder just because of the extra point for a goal, extra point for a clean sheet as well. I do like Isak, but they don't have a great record against Brighton. We don't know on De Bruyne. I expect De Bruyne starts, but I expect it to be very similar to they've been playing for the past few weeks, which means Foden won't. Savinho is a risk and De Bruyne will. I expect it to be similar because it's been working for them. Seven minutes. Sarr to Bowen for a -4. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd do it for a hit personally. If you're really chasing and want to go different because loads of people are keeping Sarr, then it's fine. But yeah. Yeah. Captain Bowen. I don't mind it. I think he's a good differential this week. I think he's a good differential. De Bruyne or Bowen? Probably De Bruyne. If you've got the money for De Bruyne, I like it. I just would love something on... There's nothing on De Bruyne. I'm going to do my transfers in a minute. Right. I just don't think I can run the risk of waiting any longer. There seems like there's loads of people making transfers now. People are saying that there's issues. So let's just refresh that. That took way too long to load. Foden to Mbermo. That is the plan. Anything else going on? Not really. No one's tagging me in anything. Main Road hasn't tweeted yet either. Right. Right. We don't have that long to go until the deadline. Right. I'm just going to do it. I can't wait any longer, and I don't think he's probably going to start. So, make captain, Marmouche vice captain, save team. Check on my phone that it's gone through. Right, well, it is still showing. Foden is still in my team on my phone. Well, that is not good. The team is saved, but it's not updating on my phone. So either the app is having a problem or something's having a problem. And now my YouTube is frozen. All in all, stuff is going nice and slowly. Yeah, he's actually in my lineup on the app. Like, he's actually in my lineup on the app. Like, and I'm refreshing and everything. I'm just going to go with the websites, right? Savinho or Sarr, I'd probably go Sarr. Start Sarr or Saka, I'd probably go Sarr. How long have we got? This isn't filling me with... This is making me very nervous. Like, he's still there in the app. Let me log in on my phone onto the website a sec. Hang on. Yeah, and Burmo's in. It's just the app is broken. Cool. Good stuff. So I can't take a screenshot of my team. But as long as it's there. Right, Isaac for Wissa. I probably wouldn't do that, no. I've restarted the app like 5 times. Ruben Diaz or Konza if you only have Gvardiol starting. I look so stressed. I feel it. I don't like the fact that my app... I'm just not going to look at the app because I've definitely confirmed it. Captain is on Burmo. Vice captain is on Marmouche. How long have we got? Marmouche captain I like. Rashford to Bowen for a hit. Yes, I probably would do that. Main Road has tweeted. What does he say? KDB starts and he says Savinho is benched. If you've got Savinho, you have a minute. We're going to stop answering questions, but it looks like Savinho is not going to start. It's, of course, these things are never 100% accurate, so please do use at your own discretion. But yeah, Savinho doesn't look great, and it does look like De Bruyne is going to start. So if you were considering Savinho to Bowen for a -4, I would do that transfer. That is likely to be the deadline. Let me refresh here. The deadline is not quite yet. By the time you're seeing this, it's probably going to be the deadline. So please go and check your teams. Lock in everything. And it is... No, still open. There we go. The game is locked in. Game week 35 is in the books. We have 3 weeks to go this season where we actually can impact the outcome of the season. This is where we're at. I have to run very quickly. I cannot stick around for any longer. I have to go. For those of you who are aware, it is my stag do this weekend and I have to go and get on a train this evening. So thank you all. There will be no Sunday night video because I am away. Right, just let me tweet my team. I'll do it after because I need to wrap up the stream. There will be no Sunday night video. There probably won't be a video until Tuesday morning, to be honest, because I don't get back until midday on lunchtime. So, yeah, have a good weekend, everyone. I hope it goes well. Good luck with you and your captain this evening. Good luck. I will be back next week, Tuesday, with a video. Have a lovely one all, and I will catch you all very soon. And please, of course, like and subscribe before you go.